Your competitors are not smarter than you, and yet they are the ones getting all the attention. Let's talk about why. So often when entrepreneurs create content and it's not successful, they'll blame the market or the algorithm or the platform itself for whatever reason. But the truth is actually a lot more uncomfortable than that. When your competitors create content that gets some sales and attention, even if they're not quite deserving of it, it can really, really annoy you. So I'm going to tell you the 5 things that these competitors are doing that you're not doing. And whatever ones you're not doing, you need to fix that immediately. If you do, you'll see your viewers, followers, and sales increase drastically. And make sure you stick around for all 5, because I have no doubt there'll be one of these things that you're not currently doing that when you do fix will change everything for you. So the first thing is you're hiding behind your logo. Some of the best well-known brands are actually led by recognizable founders. Think about Amazon, think about Tesla, think about Gymshark, think about Spanx, think about all these companies, and we know the founder. Now, we might love the founders, we might hate the founders, we might be indifferent. Either way, we know the founders. We know what they stand for. We know what their opinions are. We know them, and we feel like we know them because we see so much content from them. So if you're not getting yourself out there as the founder of your business, that's the first place you need to start when it comes to competing with these competitors that are getting all the attention and all the sales. And a good thing to remember, in a study by Endelman, 82% of people said they trusted a company more when their founders showed up on social media. So make sure you are getting yourself out there, because it does build a huge amount of trust, a real loyal following. And yes, some people might not like you, but more people will, and you'll get more sales from it. And the one key thing to remember is the founder that stays invisible has to buy attention. The founder that is visible doesn't. So if you're invisible, you have to buy attention. You have to use ads. You have to use influencers. I've known founders hire actors just to be the voice people of their companies. Whereas if you actually, as the founder yourself, come out and put yourself out there, and you gain attention from these people that are avid, loyal fans, and that's a lot more powerful than buying cheap likes and followers. The second thing that your competitors might be doing to get more attention in the market is constantly repeating the same message. Now, this sounds counterintuitive, because you're probably thinking, well, I need to come up with something original all the time. I need to be at the forefront of my industry, saying things that people have never ever said before. But actually, the best founders always come back to the same 5 or 10 core messages that people absolutely love to hear. And you might think to yourself, I'm repeating myself over and over and over again. I must be boring people. But most people will be hearing your message for the first time. So don't think that you're boring people. And even if people have heard it the second time or the third time or the fourth time, they still learn so much from it. It takes me around about 7 times to hear something before I even act upon it. So you need to keep repeating the same message over and over again. And that doesn't mean that you repeat it in the exact same way. You can reframe it in different ways, but the core message behind it is something that's repeated over and over again, because people begin to associate you with that core message. That's what you become known for. So look at someone like Daniel Priestley. He has really, really good methodologies and frameworks that he repeats on every podcast or stage or in his content constantly. And he changes the context around it. It's always very interesting when he tells it, but it's the same thing repeated over and over again, so people get to understand it. And the best thing about repeating a message over and over again is you tweak it every single little time to make it more easy to understand. You get feedback from people saying, I really got it when you explained it like this. And the more feedback you get from people, the more that you can tweak this core message, the more powerful you can make it. So rather than trying to keep reinventing new concepts, it's far better to focus on a handful of concepts first and really focus on how you can explain these in many, many different ways. Really test what resonates with your audience and keep repeating them over and over and over again. That's what gets you known for one particular thing, and that's what will ultimately get you more attention and get you more leads and sales. And just remember, repetition creates reputation. So keep repeating that message over and over again. Don't try and reinvent the wheel every single time. So number 3, the most successful founders that get the most attention and leads and sales have a rhythm. So their content has has a rhythm. It goes out at the same time every week. It's going out on the same platforms. It follows the same structure. And the reason why the founders that are more organized when it comes to content and more successful is because they're far more likely to stick to content. So when you're creating content sporadically, maybe some months you don't post anything and then you post daily for a month, that really doesn't build up enough momentum to get you attention, to get you leads and sales. Whereas if you're sticking with a very clear schedule every single month, you're posting a long form video such as this one every month, you're emailing your list with that video, you're then posting to LinkedIn this long form video, you're posting to Instagram with a link to this long form video, you're doing that same thing week in, week out, either you or your team. It builds momentum, it builds that consistency, and consistency is the thing that leads to leads and sales. And remember, rhythm beats randomness every single time. So it's far, far better for you to have a realistic rhythm to your content rather than you trying to post randomly something amazing and then drop off the face of the earth. Number 4, some of the best founders do this very thing, and I would say 99% of business owners completely miss it when it comes to creating content, and that is they share their worldview. So they're not just interested in giving you tips on how to do things, they're interested in changing your mindset around something. They're interested in sharing their worldview with you. They're interested in introducing you to ideas that you've maybe never even thought about before. So a really good example of this is Cody Sanchez. Now, Cody Sanchez helps entrepreneurs, invest in small, and she calls them boring businesses. But if you go onto her Instagram, there's tips on how to do that. But it's all about using grit and determination. It's all about being a family business and how important that is. It's all about being kind of anti-big tech or anti-finance and pro-small business. It's all about being an all-American business. So her brand is much bigger than the tips that she can give out. It's giving this feeling, this new worldview that she puts out there that people either love or hate, but either way, they have a broader understanding of what she stands for, and they can either get behind it or not. But it's much bigger than just the tips that she's putting out. She's actually trying to change people's mindsets as well, and people really love that. And that's one thing that most business owners miss when it comes to their content, is they're too busy trying to give out tips and they're not busy enough trying to change people's mindset. The best founders win when they can draw people into their worldview. That's what really, really makes them memorable. And number 5, the final thing is that most founders will have a next step in the process. So when they create content, they don't just create content for the sake of it. There will be a next step for you to follow. And they either make that very clear in the video or content that they're creating, comment below to get this lead magnet, or they'll mention something in the video midway through. They can either be very intentional, or they just make sure that every single piece of content has that next step. So that next step might be downloading a cheat sheet. It might be watching another video. It might be taking a quiz. It might be getting in touch with them in some way. It might be downloading a really good resource. Whatever it is, every single content creator will have that next step very clearly labeled in every piece of content, whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube, whatever it is, it'll be very clear for you to click on that next thing. Many business owners don't do this. They'll at best put their website link in there, but that's it. There's nowhere else for you to collect that lead. So if you want the attention, but you also want the sales, this is something that you don't want to miss out on. You have to put that next step in your content, whatever that next step may be, not just your website. You have to get someone to consume more of your content or to get directly in touch with you about a product or service that you have. So make sure you have that in there and you will see sales off the back of it. Now, you might be wondering, well, that's great and everything, but if I just grow my founder brand, if I grow, me, how am I supposed to sell my business one day? That's my aim. I want to sell my business for 1 million, 10 million, billion, whatever it might be. How am I going to sell it if the brand is so reliant on me? And I will say that many businesses sell when they have a strong founder brand. So there's a few things you can do when you are a strong founder to sell your business, and it's very easy. Sometimes when an acquirer will come along to buy you, they'll say, we want to buy you for X amount. And for the first 12 to 18 months, can you make sure that you're doing video content for us, podcasts, and maybe speaking on 3 to 6 stages in the year? And you might say, okay, Great, that seems fair enough. They're going to buy my company. I'm going to stay on as a kind of a figurehead for that company and create content for them. That's one way. Another way is that essentially you can grow your business with your founder brand to a point where the business can stand on its own 2 feet. But it can only stand on its own 2 feet when you have a founder that's driven it to that point to begin with. So you really, really shouldn't be put off building your founder brand just because you think, well, I won't be able to sell it one day, because that's simply not true. So I want you to be honest in the comments. Do you feel like a visible founder right now or an invisible founder? Let me know, and let me know which point of the 5 you want to focus on first. And if you really want help building your founder brand, we're in the middle of building something really, really exciting. It's a new video app that'll let you produce and publish videos in less than 10 minutes. And we've surveyed people before, it would take hours. All you have to do is join the waitlist below and you'll be the first to hear when we launch this. It's launching very, very soon. We're working in partnership with Daniel Priestley on it. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and there's going to be some really good bonuses for those who are on the waitlist when they sign up.